Hey, kia ora whānau, welcome back to Kaitaki Marakai. Well, I'm at the end of the day and look at all these different rākau that we've been able to produce. These seedlings that I harvested out of the ngāhere yesterday. We've ended up with about 30 different trees, and I'm just going to run through what we've got in here and what I've done today. So I'll come back to these because I've done some work around there, but I'll come back to you. So we've got manuka in here. These are our existing ake. I'm going to get some more, but we've got some nice long ones here. These are about 2 or 3 years old, and then I've got some younger ones that were germinating. Same along here. So those are all my manuka, and the way you tell manuka is manuka prickly, manuka soft, but I'll let them settle a bit, and particularly the younger ones when they come through, and either the roots coming out the bottom, then I know they're well established and I can plant them, or I'll plant them into a bigger pot, kind of like these here, and then use them for the next season. What else we done? So those are those ones. Puriri is down here. End up 6 of those, which is pretty awesome. Got another tōtara, which is that one there. Got these ones here. Not quite sure. I'm trying to. I think Pahui. Yeah. So I'm really pretty stoked with the amount of work that we've done. The other thing, as I had spoken to you about in the past, my strawberries. These are my runners, and I ended up trimming them down. Oh, sorry. And here is my strawberries that are now growing in their own little cupboard, or their own little compartment. This harakeke at the back had these babies growing onto it, so what I had done is I had split these off and replanted. So I ended up by buying or getting 3, and I've got another 3. Getting 3, and I've got another 3 here, which is pretty awesome. We're germinating and growing these ones, so they're just getting a little bit bigger. Kohe trees. These are my swans. Nico. Got some fern as well. Yeah, I think what's this one? It's either kohuhu or another type of plant, but I'll wait till it gets a bit older. Yeah, but these are all out of the ngāhere. Just trying to do variation of ferns. They were beautiful when we were. So we just tried to develop this diversity and biodiversity of plants around the place, and reforest some of our whenua, particularly around the garden. What else? Oh yes, here's, look what, you know when I was talking about the pups, not dogs, but pups of either for taro. Look at that, I've got my taro starting to kick away. So yep, growing some taro. What's that? And so they have pups, but here's some pups on my banana. Look at that, a little scabbage around there. So here's the main one that I planted. This is from Dad's orchard that he planted 30 years ago. And what I'm trying to do is encourage it not only to produce bananas for us and a bit of a windbreak from this side, the prevailing wind over here, it helps protect my my tāpapa. But what I want to do is grow more offshoots, or they call them pups. And here, if you see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 pups. So if I was to create a whakapapa, and this is basically how it works, this main stem, there's the tupuna, there's the grainy, the kuia, and then you just work around te kōtero te kuia nei, ko te kōtero o tēnei, te mokopuna o te kuia, and it just works like that, the way they're around these children. And so what I can do from there, and if I'll come around to this other one over here, so I've been thinking about this for the last couple of days. I'm going, because I couldn't get into my garden. Now remember, if you look back on some of my other series that I've done, that I had a pup growing out here, and this pup was probably just about the same size as this one here. So what I did is I cut down the center of it, lifted up over this side, and then pulled it out. And look what I did with it. I just moved it over to there. Isn't that cool? I'm just coming around it. Isn't that cool? You know, this gardening stuff's awesome. We're not only providing kai, but I've now got 1, 2, 3 banana trees growing on my backyard. Plus I've got 4 pups on that one over there, which means that I can plant out on the land some more, which is what I'm wanting to do. And notice the gap that I've got. It's about 4 meters, 3 to 4 meters gap. And why I've done that is when I weed my garden here or over there, this one won't be so much, but for the meantime I will, is I can weed and cut and drop all my weeds under my banana trees. Bananas are heavy feeders. They like compost, they like all that waste that we throw away. So I'm using that to feed the soil underneath my banana trees. So the principle being is, what I tend to do first is I do my worm farms. So any of my green waste that's here, or our food waste, goes into the worm farms, and the worm farms produce worm castings, worm juice, worms that I'm growing for folk who've asked me if they've said, oh, can you give us some worms? We're wanting to have our own composting system. So I use my worms first as I feed them, because then they break down and compost my green waste or brown waste, carbon, so forth. So I'm actually helping the environment by taking the waste of what I'm using and put it in here. I go over to there's a cafe across the road, and I grab their coffee, and I'll mix in the coffee with my soil around the edges. I put some coffee down in here, and then I tipped over my pile of mulch and wood chips that I did a couple of months back. But yeah, so I can use it to feed, which is what this is about. And also I feed and aerate my worms to make sure they're going. I've got about 13 nurseries helping there. So I can give those away, and I've got one under here that's just about ready for a whānau that wanted one. So that means that then they can get into their own composting and composting system, and use the worm castings for their gardening, and the worm juice to fertilise, so they feed back the cycle. Now if I've got excess carbon and green waste, I put around my bananas, and I feed these, and in turn they give me bananas. And we had some bananas earlier in the year here, we got given some, and in that container over there I put my banana skins. So I break down the banana, and that becomes potassium, fertiliser that I feed around my mother. So it's quite simple really when you think about it, when you plan it out. So yeah, this is awesome. Now I am actually on this site where I am here was my first garden. I'm thinking that we're going to probably eventually, once I get my fence up, is have chickens. We're going to put some chickens in here. So what I'm wanting to do is I'm wanting to put some fauna and flora, in this case fruit trees, in here. So at least they've got shade that they can kind of hide under during the hot summer season. And yeah, just have some other, I'll probably have the coop in there somewhere. But yeah, this is hot, it's hot in here, so I don't want my chickens to kind of roast, so that's why I've started. I'll put this one in, and then if I get another one, or I get a different tree, maybe an avocado, I can put an avocado somewhere in here, let it grow, and it just provides a bit of shade for our chickens to come. Yeah, whānau, this is something I've dreamed about, particularly when I was in the military and my deployment back in 2011 to Afghanistan, and watching what folk do in Afghanistan in regards to growing their produce, and it was quite inspirational. And I'd always wanted to work in a mara. I've been doing gardening since I was a kid. Initially, it was as I've said before, gardening was a punishment mechanism. Got up to the mischief in my early teenage years, late teens and all that, and so I was told to go out and dig the garden. Well, I don't dig gardens anymore, so no-till methodology to know you could do that. But yeah, so we've got a lot of variety of kai, and this year, as you'll see, we're starting to move into our native fauna and flora, wanting to build up the biodiversity within our garden, food forest, rongoa canopy, and so we're just adding in particular features to that. Monarch butterflies, want to encourage those back, flax for both weaving and filtering and cleaning our water systems. Yeah, so ake for our carvers, but they look beautiful as well. And a tea tree, yeah, just wanting to reintroduce those back into our natural environment. Got our herbs, just trying those out a bit, and I'm really loving Nico, and I've said this before. I don't know, something about Nico that's kind of captured me, you know, just the shape and the way they look, and yeah, and so I'm thinking about shaping mahinga kai where we have some Nico around, and just to bring a bit of diversity in, and again it brings shelter. So my strawberries, they had runners on, so I've planted out those runners, and now I cut them, so they're all individual pots now. Yeah, so that's pretty awesome. Hey, if anyone can tell me what this plant is, got it right out of the bush. Looks beautiful. Yeah. There's another big one there. I think that one. As I say, this is the maramatanga that's happening with me and learning. I think this one's Maui's little trickster. You know, he put the last fingernail of his tupuna into the tree. Kai something. Slipped my mind. I think it may not be, maybe the same as. No, they're not. I'm hoping it is. It's got a bit of a red tinge to it. We'll see what comes up to that. So yeah, it's more like I'm learning by just watching and observation. Like I know what Hakeake looks like now, so I've learnt that, and I can tell what the difference between Manuka and Kanuka. Yeah, got some more kawa there. Awesome. Anyway, that's what we did yesterday. Planted those out, so we've now got 30 more trees that will probably nurse over winter. Let them grow and let the roots get established, because it is a bit traumatic uplifting and then replanting out for the plants. So what I'll do is I'll wait till probably this time next year and plant out those, so they'll be a lot bigger, hopefully a lot stronger. Same with these. Some of my kawa have been here for a while, like these ones here. I might plant out the mara. Same with my rosemary. Same with my rosemary. Plant those out as well. Trying something new with regards to growing pineapple. It might be coming into a bit cold, so I've got to figure out keeping that growing. But yeah, this is my garden. Look at that banana tree. Should be getting bananas in the next rotation of seasons. Look at the size of these fruits. Look at that. Man, God's good. Look at these babies. I had some earlier. Just been feeding them, prune it back, feed them. Huge. Look at them. Man, God's good. Growing kai. Oh man. So I'll be really thankful this year. Our lemons, look at our lemons there. Got a little bit of thing on them, but they've been delicious, fruitful. Awesome lettuces this year. Bountiful. I didn't plant the tomatoes that were in here. We're soon to look at picking up some kumara, which we're going to have some kai tonight. Yeah, God is good. And this process of just working in the garden, getting reorientated, getting grounded, principles of hua parekore, whakapapa, te ao tūro, māramatanga, mana tapu ihi, or mana tapu and wairua. Those 6 principles that are used for organic growing. Like my kumara, I can verify where these guys come from 4 years ago, so I know the whakapapa of them. Te ao tūro, I'm reshaping the environment and by planting and adding food in, and eating to the seasons. Māramatanga, I'm learning new things. I'm thinking about my natives, fauna and flora, so I'm wanting to build a canopy of trees that have rongoa Māori medicinal trees there. I'm also wanting to have our gardens grow, so we've got seedlings around the corner there. I'm learning the names of these new plants that I've never, well, I've seen them, but I just haven't really taken much time. I'm thinking about the interplay that certain plants play with each other, like rosemary and borage and lavender. They're really, I've since found out, are really good to be planted around the garden with their fragrance, their attractions of bees. These yellow flowers. I was not really into flowers in the past, but what I do now is I'll pick these. These are all the seeds, and I don't need to buy more plants. So what I'll do, see all that? I'll sprinkle it over here. And what I'm doing is I'm hoping that the natural process will happen, and so I'll see some orange eventually in spring in there. Yeah, I'll take these. Man, look at all those seeds. They're self-planted. Now I could store them, or I could do what I just did. I plant them out, and then it gives me an opportunity, which I'll put them over here, to track bees. Now what I'm going to do is put it along this wall here. And I'll just leave it. And if they grow, they grow. If they don't, they don't. But what I have found, when I've done that, like these ones on the edge here, they've come. These are all new. These are all the new ones that have come through. Yeah. I'm an oil really. Alright, this is the Rewa Te Kahu Kaitaki Marakai Backyard Gardens, finding ways of developing principles and security around our food. As we know, there's supposedly a food crisis, but you can actually break that by learning how to grow your own clay. You can actually start with something you like kumara. Man, you can grow kumara for the rest of your life. Same with taro. If you've got them from the islands, think about what, bananas, whatever clay that you're doing. Turn your grass into a garden. That's what we've done here. All this here 4 years ago was green grass. All we had was these trees, so we're just slowly building up. We've eaten bananas this year, we eat heaps of lettuces, we eat heaps of tomatoes. Someone come in, a queer come in, and loves the leaves off some of the clay that we got here, and she said, can I have some silver beets? So harvested silver beet for her. Cabbages, broccolis, all my brassicas, we're putting sun and put those down, as well as our native fauna and flora. So the most demoralising fixture might be just starting, and so can I encourage a whānau, wherever you are, even if it's in pots. If you're in a medium to high density living, which most people are if they're in the big cities, think of something like this. See, I've got little pots. Now, this mint, I'll just pick it and eat it. Oregano, whatever it's called, mint, parsley, and strawberries. That's a big one. You can grow them in pots, and you might only have a deck, but here's what I've done on my deck. These are the things that I'm growing. Now, if that's all you've got, instead of having a backyard like that, create gardens like this, and think about planting it. Whānau, it wasn't long ago that's what you used to do. We used to eat from what we produced in our back garden. One of the attractions for people moving into Tamaki Makaurau in Auckland and the suburbs is that back in those days they built homes in the suburbs to help people transition from rural country areas into the urban places. So they gave them big backyards like this one, so they could grow their own clay. Now, through economics and through greed and through whatever reason, we're now shifted, and we don't have large properties like we have here. But be creative. Imagine growing your own kumara. Or imagine if there was 10 of you together. One whānau decide, right, we're going to grow kumara, or the other ones, and each whānau grow different clay. And then when it comes to harvest, you share it amongst each other. Wouldn't that be amazing? Hey? Yeah. my heart goes out to everyone anyways, for our whānau up north who caused thing by the flooding. Our karakia with you, and it's really encouraging to see what the community's doing by pulling it together. Anyway, this has been a long movie, a long video, long series. Please click the like button, and if you've hung in here for this length of time, I really appreciate that you've taken out 25 minutes of your day just to hear me blabble on about what we're doing. And geez, look at that, that's pretty cool. About my new passion, growing kai avocados. So thank you so much. May you be blessed.